Hey everybody, welcome to Meanwhile Studying with Paximus. I hope you're having a wonderful day, whether it is the morning or afternoon or even the evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. We're going to do two 50-minute Pomodoros today. And hey Scooby, how's it going? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming back. I know that it's kind of interesting having to do a live stream early in the morning, starting at 5 a.m. and then coming back to do one at 6 p.m. But I might kind of start getting into the rhythm of that by the way. So I'm kind of getting used to it. I think. Hey Dania, how's it going? You know, it's funny. I need this pretty much all day. I should get an IV of coffee. Oh man, that's good. So the Forest app is available for you guys, or should I say the Forest code is available. It's pinned at the very top of the chat, and we are gonna get started probably in, I don't know, a couple minutes. The reason why is because I want to kind of ease into it. So what are you guys going to be working on today? I'm kind of curious to know. Today I'm still working on the curriculum design that I was working on this morning. So I finished kind of writing out like all the core, common core standards that I need to write out. But so I am gonna be kind of modifying. I noticed that when I was writing the Common Core standards for the curriculum that I'm building, as much as it's kind of hard to explain, but as much as I want to follow the Common Core standards, I also it's a guideline, really. It really is, because I'm probably going to use like half of the Common Core standards. I'm not going to be using all of them to design my curriculum, if that makes sense. I think less is more, so I'm going to stick to that mantra. I feel like it's super helpful, to do it that way. Anatomy, specifically the kidneys. Nice. I think I failed anatomy. I think I failed it. I don't even remember the last time I like did any sort of research or project or I, I mean, it's been so long since I've actually done studying of anatomy. Honestly, I think it was even maybe freshman year of high school or sophomore year of high school. That was like literally the last time I did it. Okay, I'm actually gonna put up some ambient sounds in the background. I liked anatomy, plus I had to get into further detail with my career. Yeah, I honestly, I think the last time I even dealt with anatomy was probably sophomore year of high school. I mean, I can't remember the last time I actually took a test on anatomy. Now, I do know quite a bit of, like, it's funny, I've never broken a bone in my life, and I played, aggressively in sports for most of my life. So, yeah, thankfully, I didn't have to really know too much about anatomy while playing sports, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's... Not career, but education-wise. Yeah, because you're like taking a course on it or whatnot. Yeah. That makes sense. All right. So I thought I'd try something slightly new with the ambient sounds that we're going to be listening to while we're doing our 50-minute Pomodoro, which, by the way, again, we're doing two 50-minute sessions tonight. So I thought it would be kind of nice to have a little bit of like um, the usual fireplace sound with like wind howling and all that stuff, but a slight difference in the audio that you're going to hear is like, uh, you know, like cafe corner type of chatter. So if that makes sense. So we're going to try that and see if you guys are cool with that. I have another sound bite, which is like rain and fireplace. So we can always use that where it doesn't have chatter. So I'm going to bring up the audio so you can hear it. I think for me, I've already gotten used to that like background noise. I know some people it could be distracting, but we're just going to try it. All right. If you want to sign into the Forest app, let me know now. If not, I'm just going to kind of start the timer. Yeah, I almost forgot. Linus says hi. Linus, you say hi? Hey, Abita. Thanks so much for coming back. I know that the hour is probably it's not ideal for you, but thank you so much for hanging out. Um, we're gonna get started in a little bit. Yeah, 3 a.m. Wow. I mean, so Habita, that's essentially why I I was. Oh, and I appreciate you saying hello. By the way, I really do. Thank you for stopping by. Um, but essentially, that's why I live stream at 5 o'clock. Is to connect with the people that once subscribed. I really felt like I was leaving them to kind of you know dry, out to dry basically, and I didn't like that. So I kind of feel like I might be able to sustain somewhat of a nice schedule of being able to live stream like at 5 a.m. in the morning my time, as you can see, PAX time. So I feel like I can do that, and um, you know maybe do a couple of hours before work, and but I wouldn't do it every day because I feel like that would be a little too much. But I think maybe I could try to do maybe once or twice a week. My goal is to shoot for 2 times out of the week because when New Year's Day comes by, my schedule is going to be Monday through Thursday, which is the normal schedule. So I'm definitely. Hey Leslie, how's it going? I'm definitely going to be going, Monday through Thursday, which is the normal schedule, at 6 p.m., which is PAX time right now. But I think I might be able to like squeeze in 2 early morning sessions throughout the week, at least. And I figure it would be fine to do that because I need to get ready for work anyways. So I'm not like sacrificing too much. Okay. My dog is unfortunately chewing his leg. When you have passion and still working on a project, just finished editing, and now I can sleep deep. And I'm really happy. Very cool. Cool, Leslie. Sounds good. Yeah, Habita, thank you so much for just saying hello. That really, for me, that personally, that is always nice to see. I have friends who join the live stream every now and then, and they live on the East Coast, and they just stop by just to say hello. That for me, that's kind of nice. It's kind of like my friends literally saying like, hey, I hope you have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you throughout the week. So it's always nice to have that. So again, thank you so much for being here and being part of the Pax fam. I'm in medical sales. I started in sports medicine with biotech years ago, so had to relearn all joints, tissues, etc. Then the rest of the body, and now I work with implants for brain surgery. That's amazing. That's really cool. Um, Kinesiology, right? Is that sports medicine? I love being here. Great live stream ever. Oh, that's very. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, we're um we're doing two 50-minute pomodoros tonight. Um, but if you guys feel like we need to extend it, maybe another 50-minute session or something like that. I don't see why not. We can probably do that. Um, Kind of just depends on how everybody's doing. Yes, kinesiology is part of sports med. I've relearned the full body anatomy over the years. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a lot of work, you know, but it sounds like a lot of fun as well. Something that I just, yeah, it's so funny. So my older brother, he I think at one point wanted to pursue kinesiology, like sports medicine, because he was into sports, but he was also into like a lot of things like music. He was really, I mean, he's a singer as well. So he was an athlete, he was a singer, and like, anyways, all that to say is that during college he was thinking about kinesiology, but he also thought of doing all pretty much all the majors. Unfortunately, that like derailed him because he didn't know what he wanted to do, but he wanted to do everything. But he ended up getting a multidisciplinary studies degree, which kind of fits for him because he's kind of like a uh, I don't want to say a jack of all trades, but he's like highly intelligent, and like he would always talk about like he's got great memory, right? And he's just very technical with terms. So anatomy was easy for him. It was easy for him to grasp. Whenever he would talk about like ligaments and stuff like that, my brain literally shuts off. I'm like, I don't care. And it's never to any offense, to him, of course, or to anybody else. But it's just like it's not my thing. I really don't care about anatomy that much. Um, but yeah, I don't know. For some reason, my brain would always shut off every time I was in school and we were like, so health class. That's pretty much where I learned about anatomy the most. But then I think so. The first time that I truly remember, like have a memory of learning about anatomy was junior high, and then high school was like the last time, my sophomore year in high school. That was like literally the last time. Yeah, I took a very I feel like I took shortcuts. um, and no wonder it's kind of strange, but like I got to the place where like I almost didn't graduate high school, guys. Oh, hey Lucas, how's it going? It's good to see you. Yeah, that is impressive. Wait, what? Are you for real when I say my jaw dropped? My jaw dislocated? That is so cool. I'd rather live that kind of life, put in put in a lot of work, but keeps you active mentally and isn't boring. Well, yeah, that's for sure. I'm good, Lucas. It's good to see you. Thanks so much for hanging out and being part of what we're doing here. Oh, and thanks so much for kind of spreading the word to all the you know classmates and stuff like that. December 31st, it's coming up. Okay, what are you working on, Lucas? I mean, obviously, like we're on vacation, so it's okay if you're not working on like homework or anything like that. Just like you don't have to like make something up. You could be like, well, I'm just chilling. I'm just relaxing or whatever. Remember, like things here are a little bit more relaxed, or at least I like to have them more relaxed. So don't feel like you guys have to be like, oh, well, he just asked me, uh, what do I tell him? Like, it's okay. Yeah. Oh, what am I working on? I am working on so what I was saying earlier is I'm working on a curriculum design, something that actually like Lucas, he's been part of the kind of work that I've put together for my classes. Um, I'm currently from scratch. I'm trying to design a course that has heavy emphasis in the cinematic arts, but infusing that into an English course. So I'm actually designing a curriculum for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, all different standards with reading, writing, literacy all together. Um, and I'm using Common Core standards that are in California so that I'm still like abiding by those standards, but I'm able to like put in more of an emphasis in uh, more of an emphasis in cinematic arts because I feel like especially with teenagers, like it's the digital age, so everything has to do with like movies, has to do with like storytelling from a movie perspective. I feel like that's where teenagers are at, so I have to meet them there as an educator. But using that as a way to get them to want to learn more about literacy and reading and writing and kind of creating their own story. What's the best way to create their own story? They need to know like what the tools are and so on and so forth. So I'm writing out a full curriculum for that kind of a course. Oh, and actually, so it's funny. And then Lucas would know pretty much the things that he learned is basically I'm writing out as like the template for the course. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm working on. Um, I should be studying for 5 different tests, but at this point, there's not much for me. Let me see. Like I should study for those tests, but at the same time, uh, there's no telling when I'll be able to actually take those tests because everything's shut down, everything's closed. Testing centers are closed, so I'm using this time to work on the curriculum design that I would be using if I was student teaching or if I was teaching in a class for English. So that's what I'm working on right now. Oh yeah, and by the way, guys, if you aren't in our Discord, go ahead and join in to our Discord, because more people are starting to kind of form these like little groups. Not cliquish or anything like that, but they're starting to form groups within our Discord. And while I'm live streaming, you guys are more than welcome to put on your video cameras, and kind of study together in a virtual library room together. But you don't have to do that. You can simply just leave your or just be in the room, if that makes sense. Yeah. hmm Hey, Vrushti. It's good to see you. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you. I think that's so cool. Whenever you talk about the way you set up your classes and try to connect with your students, I think I'd love to take one of those classes. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that. Um, I think it should just be fun, right? Like, it's really important to build a rapport with your students. Um, if you don't build a rapport with students, like I think uh, it's going to be hard to to teach them anything. I think they're going to get to the place where they're not going to really want to learn because they can't trust you. You know, I think that's kind of the goal for an educator is like, hey, my goal here is to teach you, but it's also to learn with you, is to kind of help navigate some of the things, the core ideas, the core um, issues about writing, about literacy, and so on and so forth, and then just kind of unlocking what it is that they're passionate about, maybe, or creative, uh, uh, or you know maybe they have no idea that they're super creative about something, but you don't know that until you do certain assignments that lead into like cinematic arts, because cinematic arts kind of brings out all those like relatable conflicts. And I think it's uh, like Lucas, he would know for sure that I talk a lot about those things. I'm even looking at it right now. Like, what makes a good story? Like, what makes a good story is you need a great idea. But in order to have a great idea, you need to know what a great idea is for a story. So how do you distinguish the difference between what a good idea is for a story and what maybe it could be like, you know, I think I've already mentioned this before in a past live stream, but let's say that I was talking about like Aaron Waller. So Aaron Waller is walking down the street, and he loves going to this pier off of Huntington. He goes to the pier, spends some time there, just kind of looking at the waves, how they're breaking, how they're like how people are interacting with each other at the beach, and so on and so forth. And he then goes to the surfboard area. He gets a surfboard. He goes surfing. He has fun. He does it for about a couple of hours, and then he goes back to his, to his area where he has all his, stuff. He starts to gather all his stuff. He then goes to the rental area where he then takes his surfboard and gives it back to them, and then he starts to make his way back home. The end. Like, okay, that sounds great, but there's no idea behind that story. Nothing happened. And unfortunately, it's a terrible story. It's a terrible story because there's nothing that brings in the reader, or if you will, the viewer, in this sense of like cinematic arts. There's nothing to grab the audience. So the way that you spin it would be this: one day there was a guy named Aaron, and he was walking down the street. Now he would do this all the time, every day without fail. At 5 a.m. he would go and he would walk towards Huntington Pier, and he would also go and get a rental of like a surfboard, and he would also interact with a couple of the locals that are around, um, and then he would put the surfboard back. Fast forwarding, he would put the surfboard back. He would about what 6 a.m. 6 p.m. I mean, he gets all his stuff together, and then out of nowhere, when all of a sudden things like that, like those are key words. It's something that is extraordinary that happens out of the ordinary, something that completely messes up his schedule, his everyday schedule. So out of nowhere, there was a man who then approached him and said, hey, do you have any spare change? And Aaron says, well, I sure do. Do you want, $1? Let me actually buy you, some coffee or something, or buy you a meal. And then they actually talk a little bit, and Aaron is intrigued because of this man who approached him, who didn't seem homeless. You see what I mean? Like, out of nowhere, something happened, which helps you define what the idea is behind a story. I'm using stuff just out of nowhere right now, but that's kind of essentially what I would do in my classes. Is kind of providing a small little example so that kind of middle school students kind of could figure out what an idea is in a story. Hopefully that makes sense. What does MCS stand for? Oh, that's good. Mariners Christian School. That's what it stands for. Master of Ceremonies. Nice. I like that one. Master of Ceremonies for Streams. No, I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go into a 50-minute Pomodoro. Good times. Good times. Okay. So if you have any, mobile devices that are usually distracting you, put it away. Put it on the side. Put it on the side. There we go. All right, guys, let's do 50 minutes. Definitely encourage each other in the chat. Let's try and be encouraging and helpful to one another. Just let's try and focus on the next 50 minutes, trying to get some work done, and we'll all be back in 50 minutes. Here we go. All right, everybody. Please let me know in the chat how you did in the last 50 minutes on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Please let me know how you did, how you feel like you would rate your last 50 minutes here on Meanwhile Studying with Paximus. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And we're going to take a 10-minute breather. And we'll start up session number 2 in 10 minutes or so. Nikhil, thank you so much for being here. I think it's probably your first time here, so let me know in the chat, guys, what you're working on, how you're doing. It's okay. Cool. Scoob, you got 7. I got more accomplished than I thought I would. It was looking iffy in the beginning. I think I'm pretty much with you on that. Yeah, it was looking a little iffy for me too. Piawity, hey, how's it going? I remember you. It's been a while since I've seen you. And thanks so much for joining, Forrest. I think that's you. So welcome back. I haven't seen you for a while, so at least I believe this is the same person. If it's not, I apologize, and welcome anyways. Nikhil, I'm doing good, doing science. Very cool, very cool. Leslie, hey, I'd rate my session 7 out of 10, which is pretty good. It's a good day at the office, right, Leslie? I agree on the iffiness at the beginning. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I kind of started off like at the very beginning. I was telling everybody, make sure you put stuff aside. Let's focus on the next 50 minutes. Let's try and get some stuff done, And and by the way, Linus says hello. Yeah, he's out to lunch, but he still says hello. Yep, same person. I'm good. Good. Very cool. I'll join daily, Paximus. Oh, awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be live streaming every day this week from about 5 a.m. to, I think, 10 a.m. Oh, no, that's 9 a.m., I think. Something like that. And then also 6 p.m., which is our normal time that I live stream here on Meanwhile Studying with Paximus. Yeah, so just at the very beginning, Leslie, I would say, like, even though I said everybody, encourage each other, let's focus, let's get, our stuff done today. I can't help it. Sometimes I get distracted myself. So, and I'm an educator who, like, my one and only job is to actually encourage my students to stay on task. And sometimes I have, an issue with that. So it happens to the best of us. Yawidi, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Nikhil, it's good to have you here. So thank you so much for being here, guys. I appreciate it. I use this session to map out what I'll work on during the next sessions. Okay, cool. That's good. Do you guys ever feel like you plan more than you work? Yeah. 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 Yeah, unfortunately, I feel sometimes like I spend way too much time planning for some or, like, for instance, the work week. I have an agenda that I'm supposed to stick with. I make a list. Remember, note takers are history makers. They're the ones that get things done, right? So as I'm making a list, I feel like sometimes by making the list, I'm missing the opportunity to work on something that needs to be done right away. But I'm taking the time to do the list, and I feel like it's distracting me at the same time. So I've had to learn along the way to actually like take the time, because it feels like you're being rushed when you're writing those things down. But it really does help to make a list, to organize your thoughts. It's just sometimes it's hard. It's easier to say than doing it, but sometimes it gets difficult, even to the best of us, Leslie. So, Nikhil, is it your dog? Yes, it is my dog. My dog's name is Linus. He is a golden retriever. He is 4 years old. Four. But he'll be 5 in February. Hey T, how's it going? It's good to see you. Nah, you're not late. It's all right. It's all good in the hood. Wow, that's something I have not said in a long time. Like a really long time. I don't even remember saying it with a straight face. I've never said that. I've never said that phrase with a straight face. You know? So, like I was saying earlier, before we went into our 50-minute Pomodoro, we might extend it by just another 50-minute Pomodoro, but the plan for tonight was just to do two 50 sessions with 10-minute breaks. Just so that you guys are aware, I do try to, we do eventually get to the 50-minute Pomodoros, but every now and then I'll kind of, I'll go beyond a 10-minute break. And the reason why is because it's more important to connect with each other and to get to know each other than to, be so firm and so strict on a 10-minute break. Me personally, when I see that, we're having good discussion and so on and so forth, I usually like to stay in that mode until we feel like, okay, now's a good time to transition, because part of the reason why a lot of my students enjoyed my teaching is because of the rapport that I had with my students, is building trust, getting to know them getting to know me, and then I think it just made learning fun. And I think that's what, whether you're studying or, just relaxing, whatever you're doing, you still feel connected and part of this family. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. So in 2-ish minutes, we will get started with another 50-minute Pomodoro here on Meanwhile Studying with Paximus. You know what? And I haven't actually... So I realized actually with the Charlie Brown theme that we did last week, I didn't get to use like the sound bites as much. So I still have them, but I don't know. I was thinking maybe even later tonight I'll probably replace them and put in a new theme. I don't know. And you guys know how much I like themes. Let's get this session productive. Yes. It's all good in the neighborhood. That's so good. Use them. It's still the holiday season. Yeah, I mean, like I said before, guys, Christmas is still here. I refuse to let go of Christmas. Christmas is still here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I feel like I'm arguing with someone. I don't know. You know what's unfortunate about coffee? It gets cold so fast. I mean, yeah, it tastes okay when it's cold, but it's not the same. But it's not the same. You know, there was. I keep repeating myself right now, and thinking about that just now. I went to Scotland for a vacation when I was 21 years old. So I went with my sister, and there was this kid who was like, must have been, I don't know, 13, 14 years old. And he saw that I was videotaping. I was recording. Yeah, yes, I said videotaping. Okay, get up off me. Okay, so I was videotaping at the time, and he came over. He came over and said something like to the effect of, "Yeah, break's over." Okay, he came over and said, "Hopefully you're not stuck. Hopefully you're not stuck. Hopefully," like he just. And the kid was actually, he was pretty impressive. He was pretty funny. Anywho, I didn't really get into that story as much as I wanted to, but whatever. It's all good. In the hood. Okay, guys. We're going to transition into 50-minute Pomodoro. Guys, let's focus. We can do this. Let's try and get some stuff done. Remember, this is supposed to be the last 50 minutes. I might extend it by another 50 minutes, but let's just assume that this is going to be the last 50 minutes for tonight, and then we'll come back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Of course, not all of you will be able to do 5 a.m. Because that might be for a different group, but same time, same bat channel, not bad, but bat channel. You know, Batman. Anyways, whatever. So we are going to go ahead and transition right now. And don't forget, guys, to hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers before December 31st. And don't forget to join the Discord, because when we're not live streaming and you want a study buddy, there's plenty of people who are here in this family, what we like to call hashtag the Pax fam, and they'll be more than willing to study with you. So don't be a stranger. Go into the Discord and join us on that. Okay. Here we go, guys. Let's do the 50-minute session. Let's focus. We can do this. I believe in you guys. I really do. And sweet meat pies, skadoo. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, we are back and we just finished our last session for tonight. It was kind of a shorter session for tonight. But before we go, let me know um, what you did on this last 50 minutes. If you, um, if it was on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, let me know where you set. Nikhil, 10 out of 10. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that flew by. It went by pretty fast. Out of curiosity, uh, actually, like I mentioned, we could extend it to another 50-minute Pomodoro if you guys need it. I am more than welcome or more than willing to do it. If you guys want to do another 50-minute session, I'm up for it if you guys are. Please let me know if that's something you want to do. And yeah. T, an 8 out of 10. I felt super focused. Nice. Very good. Scooby, I really got in the zone, in a groove, setting up 2021 virtual pack calendar. Oh, that's cool. Camden, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? I hope you had a good Christmas. Late Merry Christmas. Whatever. Kill, have a good night. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit. I'm kind of feeling I'm feeling kind of lazy, so no second Pomo for me. Cool. Yeah, and like I mentioned, I'm gonna be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So if you guys want, you can join me tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Just judging by what I've been how I've been live streaming for the last couple of 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. sessions. I've been doing four 50-minute Pomodoros. So in that regard, we'll probably get more done in the morning. I would do one more session, but only if you're not burned out. No, I mean I feel fine. I'm a little tired, but I mean I'm good. So very decisive. Yeah. My session was like 5 out of 10. Got distracted with an Amazon delivery, and I've been feeling very intimidated by the writing process I have to do. Well, I mean, it's up to you. Hey, Lucas, 7 out of 10. That's good. It's a good day at the office. I used to be more of a morning person, and I am hoping to getting back to that habit. Yeah, I've actually talked about that. Um, I personally over time. By the way, I've actually come to believe that um, we're really good at convincing ourselves that we are a certain type of person, or that like for instance me, I'm really good at convincing myself that I'm a night owl, like that I get super creative at night. um, I get the most amount of work done at night, but actually I tend to argue now that I think it's just that we're less distracted at night, and therefore we feel like we can get more accomplished. Um, so yeah, I I would tend to say that I think in general, people in general are morning people. Um, there is just kind of this idea of like, well, I know what's best for my body, which is true. Many people do, and should know, if they're, better and more productive at night versus in the morning. But I would tend to argue that it's just time management and poor habits that cause us to be um, or consider us can consider ourselves to be night owls and that we feel more productive at night, I would tend to say that if we were to train ourselves to getting back to becoming morning people, um, not only would we get more done and be more productive, in my opinion, um, but we would have the rest of the day to feel free to do other things. So I don't know. It's something that I've been mulling over, I guess. So yeah. I've been wearing the Paximus merch, and it's actually one of the most comfortable shirts I have. Nice, Camden. I love that. That's so good. By the way, how's your winter break? Or it's not winter break, actually. It's Christmas break. Winter break is like in February, if I remember correctly. Yeah, guys, check out the merch, and I would do so like within this week because all the merch is free shipping on every single item in my store. So definitely check that out. No pressure, by the way. It's just it's just another way for you guys to support this channel. Yes, I like the quiet time in the morning. Yeah, me too. I actually miss like waking up early in the morning, being able to see the sunrise, and me personally, like I don't know about you guys, I do this thing in the morning. I call it devos or devotionals. I spend some time in just you know uh, getting into certain scripture because I have a faith in Christ, and I am a Christian, and I spend some time in God's word so that I kind of start off the morning and the day on the right foot. And I do that as much as possible, of course, and I spend quite a bit of time trying to kind of like that's like my decompression time. That's where I get to kind of even voice out some of the hardships that I'm dealing with, especially in this pandemic right now. um, so, anyways, it's it's one of those things where I prefer to get up early in the morning, um, and have that like solid silence and solitude time. I think at nighttime, my concern for myself and for pretty much everybody else is that people spend so much time um, at night trying to, or let me see if I can put it a different way. I convince myself that I do think better at night because I'm such a creative person, and I have less distractions to deal with, but the same could be said in the morning, early in the morning. So I'm trying to do the best I can to become that morning person, and I truly do feel better once my clock is on a good schedule and back to normal. I actually I think I spend more time wasting time at night thinking that I'm more productive. So, anyways, that's just me. I've got to get down little by little. Yep, you're right. My phone texts aren't going crazy at night, and it's dark, so nothing to see outside. My soul called lifestyle. Hey, how's it going? I'm so glad you're here. Or at least I think you might still be here. But thank you so much for dropping by. I've been watching your videos, and they're really cool. I've been keeping up with you, so thank you so much for being here. It's really cool to see you here. For those who don't know, my so-called lifestyle is an educator. She's an educator, and she's been posting these really encouraging videos. Guys, I highly recommend you go check her out. It's my so-called lifestyle on YouTube. Definitely check her out, and she's also on Instagram. So definitely check that out as well. And my so-called lifestyle. Feel free to put in your details into the chat. I would totally be cool with that if you wanted to. Yeah, I used to love getting up early, but my sleeping habits have totally flipped. Yes, exactly, my circadian rhythm. Like, so that's what I was talking about. Is just making sure that is back to normal. And I think in general people are morning people. It's just that poor habits, bad habits, cause them to stay up, super late at night, and then they mess up their sleeping patterns. Then they get, things like sleep apnea and insomnia, and, just headaches, migraines. They physically get sick. Like, those are poor habits that over time, if they're not handled correctly with time management, that's the key, guys, is time management. Learning how to balance a lifestyle um, that is helpful to your health is probably one of the most important things that we can do to help ourselves. Yeah, I even bought one of those sunlight alarms. Nice. Camden, it's been pretty good. I've really loved spending time with my family. More so now, I think, than I have in previous Christmases, because of just the reality of where we are as a society, and what's been happening. So, but snuggling with my doggies in the morning. It's so hard to stop snuggling them, especially my little dog. He is the most loving in the AM. I don't want to leave the bed. What was your dog's name? I forget. Your dog was really cool. I only saw one, actually. So you mentioned doggies, but I only saw one. I'm going to buy myself one as soon as I finish my thesis stuff. It's an incentive. There you go. Thank you so much for being my study buddy yesterday. That was super helpful. That's beautiful, Pax. I used to love spending time with Christ. I've drifted, but I still have good memories, and that's you know what? It's totally fine. I know that for me personally, it's become one of those things where in the midst of chaos, I can always count on Him, and it's reassuring to know that He's got things in control. When even when, because I'm not a control freak, but I do have the tendency, like anybody else, really, I think, that when things go sideways, you know, you tend to think, okay, well, what's going on? Why can't this happen? So on and so forth. And spending time with Him in the morning is just a good way for me to start my day. So, some people enjoy that. Some others, have a harder time with that. But I personally enjoy that time. Welcome to the Pax fam. Lots of warm, loving peeps here. Yeah, so happy to be here. It's so good to have you here. Thank you so much. I'm here for you. Ah, thank you. And so the thing you guys need to know about my so-called lifestyle: very encouraging person, very loving and encouraging educator. Has been in education for quite some time, if I'm correct, and has been on the YouTube platform for a little bit of time lately. Really just kind of encouraging people along the way, and so I really admire and appreciate someone who's willing to do that, and kind of encourage and support other educators that are out there, especially. She's been doing that. She's been if I can say, a really strong, encouraging voice in the YouTube and even Instagram platform. So it's really cool to have you here. My so-called, I will check out your stuff. Definitely go check out her stuff on YouTube and on Instagram. Any advice on staying calm amidst a lot of work? Yes. The first thing that I would do personally is pray. I know that sounds cliche, but being in prayer for the purposes of having a relationship with God, because that's what I really do have, is the opportunity to engage with God and trying to figure out what my next steps need to be. Because by the way, guys, when you feel overwhelmed, that's actually, and you've heard me say this, that's actually a good thing, that is an opportunity for you to grow. Um, for you to do it, however, on your own, that's where it gets tricky. Because if you decide, hey, I got everything under control, I'm overwhelmed, but I can still do it on my own, you're gonna fail every single time. And I say that from experience. I've been there many times. I've tried to do things on my own, you know, my own power, and it's never. I mean, I fail every single time. And then yet there's times where I'm like, what if I didn't try so hard? It's such a weird concept, but what if I didn't try so hard? And what if I just took a minute to spend some silence and solitude with God in like my devotional time? So if for you guys, if that's meditation or whatever it is you enjoy doing, to decompress, and then once you've decompressed for a little bit of time, for me it's prayer. Then I make a list. I make a list of things, and this is some advice that I've gotten from my mom, like since I was like 2. She said, make a list. And I hated making lists because I felt like that took so much time to do. But you've heard me say it many times. Note takers are history makers. They're the ones who get things done. And one by one, as you go down your list, you're like, okay, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. Tackle those things, whether it's in a row or randomly, and then start checking them off. You start to feel so much better. You start to feel less anxious, less depressed. And if the issue behind it, Lucas, is, well, how do I get motivated? Have someone motivate you. Have someone encourage you. Have someone walk out life with you, so that you're not doing things on your own. Because to do things on your own power, you're never gonna trust me. You're never gonna really do it unless you have the help. And with that extra help, you're always gonna be in a place where, like, oh, I have support, I have help, and it's gonna seem less daunting of a task whenever you're trying to remain calm, especially when there's so much going on. What do? The first thing I do is pray. First thing I do is pray. Helps me is actually going outside for a short run. Exercise. Leslie, you are absolutely right, 100%. I start feeling a lot of anxiety that doesn't let me think. So I run it out and I come back a little better to work because the endorphins are running. A lot could be said about exercise. Good, healthy steps to, like, hey, every day, commit to 30 minutes of just walking around the neighborhood. You don't have to, go running. You don't have to be sprinting or doing push-ups like crazy or anything. It's just simple exercise for like 30 minutes a day. That alone should help with the endorphins. That should also help with your energy levels. And that also decreases your anxiety. This is coming from a person who deals with a panic attack disorder, social anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, and depression. I go through all that, and I guarantee it, guys. Like, when you do exercise, you do feel better. I have to echo what Leslie was saying. You do feel better. You feel like you're able to, focus on the task at hand. Yep, same thing. Like T, what you're saying, T. I love going for a walk every day. It grounds me. I notice a huge difference when I don't walk, and totally affects my anxiety in a good way. Sometimes I would feel like I would stress more about the work and try to relax about it, when really the only thing that made me feel better was actually sitting down to work through it. And that's a key word, Leslie. I think is kind of like just being able to work through it. Sometimes you got to buckle up and just do the work, and that's hard. So trying to find a balance of when you need to take a break for mental health and when you just gotta tread through the work. Yep. Making a list helps so much. Honestly, write it as detailed as you can and just cross things off. It helps so much. Absolutely. I'm going down fast. Hugs to everyone. I will see you guys in the morning. I think I'm super tired from shoveling snow today. Oh, that's right. You're in a different location now. Good night. Thanks so much for being here, T. Exercise releases the stress. Yeah, a 20 to 30 minutes walk is great. Scooby, you take your dogs for a walk every day. I see it on Instagram all the time. It's really like, it's a good reminder actually when you do take the videos or pictures that, you know, when you're out taking a walk. It's a good reminder like, hey, there's a lot more than studying. There's a lot more out there than just, you know, sitting at a desk. You gotta sometimes get up. You kind of have to like talk to yourself, you know, and say like, okay, today I gotta just put on my shoes and go for a walk, you know, take the dog with you, or you know, do some exercises around the house or whatever it is that you think will help. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Walk plus nature equals joy / de-stress. I completely agree. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out. And I hope that you were able to accomplish what you needed to for our session today. Please be aware that December 31st at 6 p.m., I'm going to be live streaming. It's a special live stream where I'm going to be announcing something pretty big. I would love for you guys to be there and to be part of it. Tomorrow, I will be back at 5 a.m. in the morning, Pacific time, which I like to call PAX time. So I'll be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and then also at 6 p.m. Tomorrow afternoon / evening. And you guys can follow me on Instagram at Paximus Enterprises. And you can also look up the merch that I have on PaximusEnterprises.com. All the links are in the description below, so take a look at that. And guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, My So-Called Lifestyle, for joining us tonight. It was great to have you. Thanks for a great session. Hope you have a good night. Thanks, Scooby. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, T. Thanks, Lucas. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me tonight, getting some work done. I will definitely be back tomorrow at 5 a.m. in the morning. Linus says goodbye and good night. And remember this, guys. Always remember this. No matter what happens, be kind and rewind. I'll see you later. Hadouken!